Imagine getting paid just for sharing your thoughts on products and services you use every day. With Survey Junkie, it's that simple. Click on the link in the video description to discover how you can start earning today by taking surveys.
Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has shared concerns over the possibility Donald Trump would send her to jail should he retake the White House in November's presidential election. Speaking with podcast host Kara Swisher, the progressive Democrat said that she takes Trump at his word. "I mean, it sounds nuts, but I wouldn't be surprised if this guy threw me in jail. He's out of his mind. I mean, he did his whole first campaign around lock her up. This is his motto," Ocasio-Cortez said. "I take him at his word when he says that he's going to round up people. I take him at his word when he threatens journalists. I take him at his word," she went on. "I feel like what we saw in his first presidency was an amuse-bouche to what his intentions are. He has learned from his mistakes of appointing professionals, and he will not make that mistake next time." AOC's concern stems from Trump's response to a question earlier this month when he was asked during a Fox Friends interview if revenge will be his success. "These are bad people. These people are sick, and they do things that are so destructive. If it weren't me, they'd be going after somebody else, and I know a lot of the competition," Trump said. "They wouldn't do so well." But more recently Trump attempted to allay fears that he would seek retribution while suggesting he would still have every right to do so. "Number one, they're wrong," Trump said to Sean Hannity. "It has to stop, because otherwise, we're not going to have a country. Look, when this election is over, based on what they've done, I would have every right to go after them, and it's easy, because it's Joe Biden and you see all the criminality, all of the money that's going into the family and him, all of this money from China, from Russia, from Ukraine. They, the Democrats, want to arrest on no crime. They want to arrest the person that won the nomination in a landslide," Trump said. During Swisher's podcast, she asked the New York lawmaker if she believed Trump had a good chance of securing the White House for a second term. "Trump does absolutely have a chance to win. That is why I have thrown my support behind Biden early, and I support it vociferously," AOC said. "It is unequivocal that if Donald Trump wins, we are looking at the potential dissolution of democracy in the United States of America, and the question about what would happen to me or the Democratic Party is a joke compared to the question of what is going to happen to our country." She admitted that there was a distinct lack of excitement surrounding President Biden and his campaign. "I think when it comes to presidential elections, and especially to young people, I understand the lack of support for President Biden. I think the demoralization around the president has caused folks to sometimes tune out on down-ballot candidates that will actually advance more alignment with their interests. And so the answer here is to get into the game, not to get out of it," she said. Trump is scheduled for a virtual probation interview on Monday after a New York jury found him guilty of all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in his hush money trial. The former president will participate in the hearing from his home at Mar-a-Lago. The probation interview is a normal process for Trump's pre-sentencing report. The interview is the next step in the sentencing process as Judge Juan Merchan is scheduled to sentence the former president on July 11th, just days before the Republican National Convention begins in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The interview will be conducted by a probation officer and Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche will be present. The interview will be followed by a report that will be delivered to the judge. Trump faces up to 4 years in prison after the conviction, but it's also possible that he could get probation. A successful appeal to the higher courts from the Trump legal team, however, could set the sentencing decision further back. Trump continues railing against the verdict, appearing at a Turning Point packed town hall in Arizona last Thursday to rally supporters behind him. "I just went through a rigged trial in New York," he said. "With a highly conflicted judge where there was no crime, it was made up fabricated stuff. They didn't want to bring the case. They could have brought the case 7 years ago, but it's only when you run F.